What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90. It is here. Those fans of Bundesliga are happy because today we are predicting week 16 of the Bundesliga. And as you can see by this list up here, it's very, very congested. We've got week 17 right after week 18, right after week 19, because we just had the winter break in Germany and we are back now with week 16. So if you want to see more Bundesliga predictions, then be sure to drop a like on this video, subscribe down below, leave your predictions down in the comments as well, and anything else you want to tell me, just drop it down there. I will of course read it and get back to you. But as you can see, we're kicking off with an absolute cracker, so let's get into it. It's Borussia Dortmund up against Bayer Leverkusen. Now, if you didn't see the Serie A video, obviously I said for the Serie A, La Liga and Bundesliga videos, I'm doing this format over on Super Brew and showing my predictions like this, because the videos in the regular format with the Premier League and Champions League take a lot longer and the render hours are insane. It takes hours to render the videos and I don't have the time to do all of these videos and everything else in the same way. But you guys, all you want to see are my predictions, I assume. The fancy graphics are great, but this is the meat and potatoes of the Full 90. It's the score prediction and the tip, and we have it all in this video. And kicking off with Borussia Dortmund up against Leverkusen, we have an absolute cracker here. Bayer Leverkusen slight favourites, Bayer Leverkusen in better form. Bayer Leverkusen just 4 points behind the leaders, Bayern Munich. However, I think at home Borussia Dortmund are going to put up a tough fight, and I think it is actually going to end all square. I'm going to say 2-2 draw. The tip is going to be both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at 1.8, because the odds are crazy. 1.8 for just 3 goals and both teams to contribute. Bayer Leverkusen are going to score. Dortmund are going to score. We just need one more goal. So I think both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at 1.8 is very, very good. Moving on, we have St. Pauli up against Eintracht Frankfurt. Now, I think this one's going to be straightforward. The odds look extremely good. St. Pauli down here in 14th. Eintracht Frankfurt having a really good season up in 3rd, along with RB Leipzig on 27 points. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Eintracht Frankfurt. The odds of a Frankfurt win at 2.05 look good enough for me, and I'm going all in on that. Frankfurt to win 2-0 against St. Pauli, even though it's away, and I know they've lost a couple, but I just think they bounce back here and get the win. And as you can see, St. Pauli here don't draw any games, or many games I should say, and that is probably the best they can hope for against Frankfurt, who also don't draw many games. So I think 2-0, it looks really good, the value looks good, so I'm happy with that. After this, we have Freiburg up against Holstein Kiel, and again, I think this is going to be a pretty convincing win for Freiburg. I can see them conceding, so we'll give Kiel a goal, but I think Freiburg plenty enough at home. 3-1, 8 points from the season for Kiel. It's not good. They did just come off a win against Augsburg, 5-1, but they've had Christmas since then. It's forgotten, and Freiburg, they lost their last game as well, 5-1 against Bayer Leverkusen, but I wouldn't read too much into that. I think Freiburg bounced back 3-1. The tip is going to be Freiburg and over 2.5 goals at 1.86. It keeps the 3-0 onside. I really, really thought about Freiburg and both teams to score, but I'm just, as I said, keeping the 3-0 onside for this fixture. After this, it's Heidenheim up against Union Berlin, and Heidenheim, they need a point, they need a win, they need something. Union Berlin, they need a point, they need something. Two teams in diabolical form, and I actually think they're just both going to score and cancel each other out. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, but I am going to say that both teams to score at 1.8 will be the tip, because they both need a win, but also critically, they both believe they'll be able to get this win. Heidenheim winless in the last God knows how many, and Union Berlin haven't picked up a win in so long. I think both teams will still think they can get the win, and I think both teams will therefore score. So 1-1, both teams to score. After this, it is TSG Hoffenheim up against Wolfsburg. Now, Wolfsburg, I think Wolfsburg are a bit better than Hoffenheim, but Hoffenheim are underperforming for me. They're a better team than their results show, and I'm just going to say that they have a bit of a bounce back and get a draw against a team that was, up until right before the break in Wolfsburg, were in very, very good form. So I'm going to say that this ends 2-2. And again, I think both teams to score and over 2.5 goals as the tip at 1.8 is really, really good. So that's what I'm going with. Hoffenheim 2, Wolfsburg 2. Moving on, we have Mainz up against Bochum. Again, this one I think is going to be pretty straightforward. I'm just going to say 2-0 win to Mainz. The tip isn't great value, but 1.54 for Mainz to win, 1.53 I have here. I think that is good enough. Maybe chuck it in a double or something like that. I think they beat Bochum quite convincingly. And now we're going to move on to an even more exciting game. Borussia Monchengladbach up against the league leaders Bayern Munich. Now, Monchengladbach, they're sort of like, they're a bit of a bogey team for Bayern Munich, really. They are down in 8th place right here, as you can see, but you know, take it with a pinch of salt. If they win one more game, they're up in 3rd, right? It's not as bad as the league table looks, right? I just don't think that they're gonna spoil Bayern Munich's party this time. I think they'll score. I think Bayern Munich will win. They've had plenty of rest. It's a good time for Bayern to play Gladbach away. There's absolutely no momentum they can take from these wins here. But, you know, Hoffenheim 2-1, Kiel 4-1 as expected. They drew here with Dortmund, which is a decent result, and then they lost to Freiburg. It's not great. I mean, this loss for Bayern Munich against MUNCH, freak result. Happens. Get it out the way. I'm saying Bayern Munich win this one 3-1. And the tip is going to be Bayern Munich and both teams to score at 2.4 for Bayern Munich and both teams to score, which I think is fairly likely. After this, it is RB Leipzig up against Werder Bremen. Now, Bremen leapfrog Leipzig with a win here. I just don't see it. At home for RB Leipzig, they really should be getting this win. I think it'll be close. I'm going to say 2-1. My tip here is RB Leipzig to win at 1.72, but they're a tricky team. They're a scary team to back sometimes, because when they should win, they don't, and then they'll pull off a blinder performance and win a game you didn't expect. Leipzig are difficult. Werder Bremen went into the winter break on good form, and they are sniffing down Leipzig's back to try and leapfrog them with a win here. So I think Leipzig will win, but potentially maybe look at both teams to score. The odds will be not very good at all, but err on the side of caution with RB Leipzig, I would. Now, the final game we have to predict here is Augsburg up against Stuttgart. Now, Stuttgart currently in 10th, but again, one win sees them go all the way up to 5th if the results go their way, of course. And Augsburg, they are sort of mid to lower mid-table on 16 points. They're cut adrift from the relegation zone, but they're also kind of cut adrift from the top half of the league. So Augsburg, it's almost like they're not going to get relegated. They don't have much else to play for, you could say, but saying that, there is still a lot of the season to go. However, I am just going to shade this to Stuttgart. I'm going to say 2-1, but the tip is going to be both teams to score at a humble 1.57. I think you could do a little double of both teams to score in this game at 1.57, Mainz to win at 1.53. I think that's really good. If you wanted to do a single, I think Bayern Munich and both teams to score at 2.4, but a really nice double at odds of 4.8 is Bayern Munich and both teams to score, and then Eintracht Frankfurt to win. I think these odds are just ludicrous. So you get nearly 4-1 for Frankfurt to win and Bayern to win and both teams to score. So there's a lot of value to be had. Even the both teams to score on over 2.5 goals tips we suggested. Hoffenheim and Wolfsburg, there's going to be goals in that game, absolutely. Maybe just over 2.5 goals, unless one of them randomly wins 3-0. And then Borussia Dortmund, Leverkusen, both teams to score on over 2.5 goals is 1.8 as well. A brilliant double I think you can have for there, above 2-1, above odds of 3. I think that's really good for both teams scoring over 2.5 goals in those two games as we predicted. But with that being said, as you can see, here are my predictions for the week 16 of the Bundesliga. If you did enjoy this video, please do drop a like, subscribe down below so you don't miss any future videos, and I will see you in the next one very soon.